Okay, so we're in a new setup. We're going to hope that the game is kind to me this time. Hi everyone, my name is Chloe, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here today. Today's video is going to be what month is it? It's going to be the June round of TBR M.A.S.H. I didn't do this last month. TBR M.A.S.H, for those of you who don't know, is my TBR game, which is inspired by the childhood game of M.A.S.H. Normally you would use it to predict how your life is going to go. I use it to dictate my reading life. Life in general has been a little bit stressful recently, which is why I didn't do a round of this last month. So I've recently moved, like I said, new setup. I'm currently in my dining room because it's the only place that has like a blank white wall. I feel like it's probably going to be very echoey, so I'm very sorry about that, but we'll try and figure it out. But I did very much want to get back to playing M.A.S.H this month. I hopefully will have completed the TBR that I set the last time I played this. I gave myself 2 months to do it instead of the one because of moving, and like I basically read nothing in the month of April. But I have 2 books left to finish. I have like 5 days left to do it. I think I can. Fingers crossed I can. So we're not going to give any punishments this time because we're just going to go on the assumption that I have read everything that I need to read. But I suppose if I hadn't, I will just have to maybe add the punishment in next month. We'll see. Anyway, let's just give you a quick rundown of how the game works. So like I said, inspired by the childhood game of M.A.S.H. In that game, you would use it to pick sort of like where you're going to live, how many kids you're going to have, all of those sorts of things. I use it to pick reading prompts. So every one of these cards has a prompt on there. I use a random number generator to work my way around the board, eliminating a prompt each time until there is just one left in each section, and that is the one that I use to pick the book that I'm going to read for the month. There are a couple of extra things to do with colours. So the same colour comes up twice, I have to pick an extra book. If I get a +1 card, I have to pick an extra book as well. Those will make more sense as it goes. All these ones in the middle are basically the extras, and those ones are books that my friends have picked. So those are specific books that I have to read rather than just like a general prompt. If you want to see all of my friends' picks, you can watch the last TBR that I put up because that was sort of the anniversary TBR M.A.S.H video where they all picked those. They're going to carry on throughout the year, so I've just got some random ones on there now, and we will see if any of them come up. But I think that is everything you need to know. This may have been a less coherent description of the game than it normally is because I feel like I've said things out of order and it's confusing me. I know the thing I normally miss out is any obligatory reads. I do have some. I am a host of Christopher Long, and we are going to be up to Aurora's End. That is the one that I need to read. I do still need to read Aurora Burning. I am hoping to read that at the beginning of that's going to be like an extra on my TBR. I'm not going to put it on the TBR game just in case I get to it. I don't think I will, but Aurora's End I will try and fit somewhere on this TBR. We'll see how it goes. But first, what we need to do is pick a number to work our way around the board, so let's do that. So as always, I've set my parameters between 5 and 15, and this time we have got 13. That feels like a rather large number, but we will try it. So you guys don't need to see me count, let's speed this up. And the first thing I do is miscount. Let's try that again. Okay, so we do have our first prompt, but I have remembered the thing that I haven't actually explained, which is what M.A.S.H is in the middle. So normally in the game it stands for mansion, apartment, shack, house. In my game it's slightly different. So a mansion is a big book over 500 pages, apartment is a small book, shack is a book you've been putting off, and house is comfortable, so it's a mood read. There we go. Now let's see what the actual first prompt is. Straight away as soon as I go to pick it up, because these ones feel slightly different. I know that it is a +1, so I have to pick an extra one. Now the way that I do this is first I pick out of the ones that haven't come up that I've already taken off the board, and that's going to replace this prompt. So if we just randomly go in and there's 2 come up. I mean, that could not have gone better. We've got 3 picks, so I can literally pick anything I want to. Let me go and have a look. So I've acquired a couple of new books recently that I'm just really in the mood to read, and I just want things that I know are going to be quite easy for me to read. So I am going to pick one of those, which is Gwen and Art Are Not in Love by Lex Croucher. So this book is set in medieval times. It's kind of a retelling of Arthur and Guinevere, but not. As it says in the title, they are not in love very much. So it says on the back, I'm going to read the synopsis, it's probably going to be easier. It says, Gwen and Art are not in love. Rather inconveniently, however, they are betrothed. Now Art's been invited to Camelot to prepare for the wedding. It's going to be a long hot summer of joust, feasts and trying not to kill each other. Until Gwen catches Art kissing a stable boy and Art digs up Gwen's breathless diary entries about the kingdom's only female knight, Lady Bridget LeClaire. Perhaps they'd make better allies than enemies. Maybe it's worth convincing everyone that they make a disgustingly perfect couple after all. But with Gwen growing closer to Bridget and Art drawn to Gwen's brother Gabriel, the path to true love is looking far from straight. I'm very excited for this one. I'm glad I managed to get it on the TBR. Basically, I brought a pile of books down here that I want to read because my bookshelves are upstairs. And I'm glad that with the first pick, I've not had to run upstairs and grab one of the other ones. But we will see if the rest of the board is nice to me. For the plus one, I'm going to pick that at the end because that comes from these ones in the middle and I need to see if I need any more plus ones. But for now, we will put this one back up alongside this one. I will say for the colour thing, we're going with the purple this time. The blue doesn't count. Okay, let's go back to picking our second prompt. Okay, we have got our second prompt and that one is, if it wants to come off of the wall, series, which is very helpful when you consider the obligatory read that I have already mentioned. So again, I happen to have this one tanned. I'm going to be reading Aurora's End. This is the third book in the Aurora cycle by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I can't really tell you too much about it because so much has happened since the first book, but essentially it is a group of people working together on a spaceship. They don't all necessarily want to work together. Circumstances happen that made them all have to work together. The captain ended up finding this girl on the wreckage of a ship. She was a lone survivor, and that happened and meant that he missed his chance to pick his team, and he was like the #1 person at the academy, and he ended up with the leftovers, and the team kind of comes together to help figure out the mystery of why Aurora is the only survivor. And like I said, so much has happened by the time we get to this one. I am looking forward to rereading both this one and the one that comes before it, because I will get to that one soon. But the live show for this one should be on Lisa's channel sometime at the beginning of July, but we do have the live show for Aurora Burning first coming on Catherine's channel on, I do have the date, I want to say it's 7th, but it's sometime at the beginning of June. And if you have a look on the Christopher Long Twitter, that should be being announced soon, because I should be sending Catherine the thumbnail soon so that we can announce it. But yeah, very excited to continue with this series. This one is probably my favourite in the series, so excited to read this one. This is actually my favourite character on the front as well, so very excited to reread it. Okay, let's pick our third prompt. Okay, so we have got prompt number 3 that again does not want to come off the board, and it is audiobook. Okay, so I mean that could mean a lot of things. I am going to be listening to the audiobook of the one that I've just shown you, but I also have another one that I really want to listen to the audiobook for, and it's one that I've not brought downstairs. As soon as I started filming, I'm like, oh, that was going to be on my TBR this month, but I've not brought it with me. So I'm going to run upstairs and grab it. You won't see that, but I'm going to go and do that right now. Okay, I'm back. I've got the book. I'm going to be reading In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. So this one, I don't know too much about it, except that I believe it's a Pinocchio retelling, and it involves robots. Don't know too much else about it. I very much like TJ Klune's writing. Well, most things that I read from him. There was one iffy one, but this feels like it's more along the lines of House in the Cerulean Sea and Under the Whispering Door, which are two of my favourite books. So I'm very much looking forward to it, and I did really enjoy the audiobooks for both of those, and I have the audiobook for this one, so I will be listening to it rather than reading it. I'll probably do a bit of both, but it's working for this prompt. So we're going to go with it. And also, I don't know if you've realised, those are both orange, so it means I have to pick 2 from down here. So my TBR is getting a bit bigger. It's fine, it's fine. Right, we're going to pick our last prompt. I will say that if any more double colours come up, I don't pick more than 2 extras. So we're sticking with that. But let's see what our last regular prompt is, shall we? Okay, so last one. That one is a paperback, which is quite helpful because, like I said, I have acquired a few books recently that I want to read, and some of them are paperbacks, so let's go grab one of those. Okay, so like I said, I just want quick, easy things to read, and I know that I read the first book in this series very, very quickly, so I'm hoping that I can do the same with the second, and that is The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling. So this is the second book in, I don't know what the series is actually called, I don't think it ever actually says, but basically it's a follow-up to the X. I believe the companion books, so I think this is somebody that's related to the main character in the first book. I think it's someone from the same coven, and another sort of romance. It's basically set in a small town and there are witches, so there's romance involved. I'm not going to go into a full synopsis, I don't think you need to know it, but I think it'll be a really quick, easy read. So, seeing as though this TBR is having to get longer, let's try and make it as easy as possible. Okay, so we have picked all of our main prompts. We need to pick 2 from this bit in the middle. So what we do for this is we don't eliminate, we just count them wherever we end up is what we're going to pick. So let's see how this goes. So the first one that we have, hey, it's being nice to me. So we have got Love to Love You by Ali Hazelwood. So this is actually I'm just gonna go and get the book before I start trying to explain it to you. I'm gonna have to stop running up and down stairs. Okay, so Love to Love You by Ali Hazelwood. This is a series of 3 novellas, all written by Ali Hazelwood, as the cover would suggest. The author of things like The Love Hypothesis, Love on the Brain, Love Theoretically is coming out soon. I was basically just putting off reading this until I had the physical copy of it. I've had it for a couple of months now, and then Becca put it on my game and meant I couldn't read it immediately. So I'm glad that it has come up, because it means that I can read this, and also because they're novellas, I can sort of read them in between other things and use it as like a break for things. But yeah, I'm excited to read this, and then obviously, like I said, Love Theoretically is coming out soon, so we'll read that one when it comes out. So glad that I can sort of keep on top of my Ali Hazelwood reads by getting this one on the TBR this month. Okay, so second extra one that I need to pick. Okay, so again, it's been very nice to me, and I think Meg's gonna be very, very happy about this one. It is Beach Read by Emily Henry. So I will go and grab that book as well. So Beach Read by Emily Henry. This one is, I have to remember because I have all 3, well there's 4 now, but I have all 3 of the paperback Emily Henry books that are out, and I've not read any of them, which is why Meg put this on the TBR, because she was like, you will read them, and I would prefer to read them in publication order, because I like to see like as someone's writing generally improves as they publish more books. Otherwise I feel like it always feels like you're taking a step back when you read like the first one. I know this isn't her first published book, I know she's written other things before, but still I have heard that her writing in this genre in particular vastly improves as they go along. So I'm excited to start reading them. Who knows, maybe I'll end up reading more. I know they're not connected, I know you don't need to read them in order, but it's just how my brain works. This one I believe is about the 2 authors who write different genres, and then they swap, and then they both get writer's blocks, so they sort of swap the genres that they're writing. I've just heard good things about it. I'm excited to read it, so I will be reading it at some point next month. Okay, so we're nearly there. Now we just have to pick M.A.S.H. So let's see how this one works, shall we? That really could not have gone better for a month where I have 2 extra reads. It's house, it's comfortable, it's a mood read. I can read whatever the hell I want, and I don't have to put it on my TBR right now. I do still have a selection of books that I didn't manage to get on my TBR, so I will show you those just in case. It's a slightly random selection. So like I said, I was going for like easy reads, so I picked up Shipwrecked because I really want to carry on with this series. I also picked up The League of Gentlewomen Witches, which is another one that I've recently acquired. So I was like, okay, let's try and like read all these ones immediately. I'm very much in the mood to read them. Those 2 could definitely be my mood reads. Also, I went to a talk by R.F. Kong last night, and I immediately started rereading Yellowface, which I know is not great because I still have books left to read in my TBR, but it's fine. And I also really want to reread that book. So maybe this will happen. I do have the audiobook for it, so like, it wouldn't be that hard of a reread. I don't need to tab and annotate it this time. I did that last time I reread it. So maybe Dabble will get reread. It's a bit of a different vibe from everything else in this TBR. Maybe it'll be a bit of a change in the middle, but we will see. However, my TBR that I am definitely reading is these ones, which, you know, I'm quite happy with how that's looking. We've got a lot of like easy read romance, we've got a sci-fi, we've got a fantasy, but like an easier fantasy in the middle. I feel like it's been kind to me, so could have definitely gone worse. Right, I think that is pretty much everything. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below. Let me know what you have in your TBRs this month, and I will see you guys soon with a new video. Bye.